continually had people bring him down. We see his integrity, his goodness, his honesty, putting him in high places. He was his dad's favorite. In Potiphar's house, he was put in charge of all of Potiphar's stuff. He was also put in charge of the prison when he was there. It did help him succeed, but at the same time, his goodness sometimes caused him to be brought down as well. Now, you think about his brothers and their jealousy and their hatred of him, even to the point that they sold him. Um, you know, and that happens sometimes. That happens in the workplace. You work hard, you're honest, you're truthful, you're reliable, you're responsible, and your boss gives you more responsibility than others, and maybe has a little bit of favoritism towards you because you are such a good worker, and everybody hates you for it. They look down on you, and maybe they even try to stab you in the back. It happens, even to people who are honestly just trying to be a good worker. You think about being falsely accused. How many times are really good, honest people just falsely accused? People can't find anything truthful to say against you, and so they have to make something up. And that happens a lot of times. And so that's something that we should definitely expect if we're going to live a good life. And then also being forgotten. It's very easy to forget a good person sometimes. He's not the squeaky wheel. He's not the person who executes vengeance and wrath on people, and doesn't cause a big scene. He doesn't draw attention to himself. And so he's very easily overlooked. And so even today, people who are good people can experience these same things as Joseph did. And we have to not be surprised at that. Even Peter said in 1 Peter chapter 4, in verse 12, he said, "Beloved, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal among you." It says, as though something or some strange thing were happening to you. Sometimes we're just so shocked that, somebody would say something against me, or somebody would do this, someone would stab me in the back. Here I am just trying to be a good person. I'm always nice to them. I always treat them in the right way. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. People like good people. People like honest people. People like people with integrity. But sometimes your goodness and sometimes your integrity can sometimes be an inconvenience for others, and they're not going to like it, and they're going to retaliate against you for that. It happened to Joseph and can happen to us. But we need to take Peter's advice also in 1 Peter, this time in chapter 3, in verse 17, where he says, "For it is better, if God should will it so, that you should suffer for doing what is right rather than what is wrong." And that's absolutely true. If you're going to suffer, nobody likes to suffer, but if you're going to suffer, let it be for doing the right things. Let it be for being an honest, hardworking, good person. Because then at least, at the end of the day, you can at least have a good feeling that, I did the right thing. Through this whole situation, I was the good guy. Whereas if you're on the other side and you suffer because you are dishonest and you are always scheming and you're always trying to get a leg up on other people, really your suffering has no merit to it at all. It's just there's nothing that you can do to take comfort in. You're just suffering for the bad choices that you made. And so let's just think about that today. As you go to work, be a good worker, be a hard worker, be an honest worker, but don't be shocked that people don't like that or don't respect you for that. When you're involved in relationships, be the good person, be the good friend, be the person who's always there for the other person, but don't always expect them to return the favor, as with the cupbearer. And also, sometimes you might be falsely accused of certain things that are not true. Don't let that eat away at you. Don't let that bring you down. Remember Joseph and all these things. And remember all the countless other people in the scriptures that suffered for doing good. and take comfort in the fact that you're living for a higher purpose. You're living for your relationship with God. That's what brought Joseph through this, right? It's evident through what happened with Potiphar's wife that Joseph was truly more concerned about God than he was with Potiphar. He said, how can I do this sin against God? We would think it'd be a big sin against Potiphar, but he was more concerned about his relationship with God. And when we're dealing with people and when we're at work, we should always be more concerned with that. And we need to recognize that we are living for a higher purpose than just to be everybody's friend. So, with that, these are just some things to think about. I do thank you guys for watching the video. I love you guys. I hope you all have a great day. God bless.